Hi, this is Whitney Miller for MMA Mania, speaking with middleweight contender Joe Schilling about his upcoming bout with Jason Wilnis. Can you describe your fighting style? What makes Joe Schilling so intriguing to watch?
I'm always looking for the knockout. I'm an exciting fighter. I think my biggest attribute is my aggression and my heart. It seems like my coach used to talk about the reason I was exciting is I always looked like I was almost dead, I was gonna die, and I was tired, and I was ready to quit, and I always pull something out and make it exciting for the fans. I think that's probably a big part of what makes me so exciting.
Well, speaking of that, you have a fight coming up this Friday, and it's taking place in the same arena that you had probably one of your most exciting and most important wins over Artem Levin back in GLORY 10.
Yep.
How did that win kind of change your career, and how do you feel about stepping back in that same arena on Friday night?
That was my debut for GLORY, and it was the world tournament, and it was going into that tournament, I was slated against the #2 guy in the world, and then when I won, I was going to fight the #1 guy in the world. For a long, long time, I had been asking for those two fights and really wanted to show what I was capable of, and that was a big moment for me. And I went from making $5,000 a fight to I left with $150,000 that night. It really put me on the map, and my career's taken off ever since.
Yeah, definitely. People know Joe Schilling when you talk about kickboxing, so that has to be an accomplishment right in itself.
Yeah, it's great. I think that it's great for me, but it's also great for the sport. For a long time, nobody cared about kickboxing in this country, and I think that was kind of a pivotal moment. And GLORY is doing well, and kickboxing is growing in the U.S., and I feel like I'm a big part of that, so it feels good.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. So speaking of Friday, you are set to meet Jason Wilnis for a rematch bout that took place last year.
Right.
It was a really exciting fight coming out of the gates, except for the point that he badly broke his toe and could no longer continue the fight. That being said, since that fight, he has said it's a fluke. How do you feel about that, and do you kind of...
I don't want to bash the guy or talk too much smack, but he was losing the fight. Every round he was losing the fight. He hit me with 2 punches in the entire fight, and then quit over a broken toe. We're professional kickboxing. You're just talking about heart and things like that. To break your toe in a kickboxing fight is super common. I think I broke all my toes twice. And MMA, I think John Jones had his toe sticking out sideways and still defended his title and fought. So
I remember that.
I think that saying that you broke or dislocated or hurt or whatever your toe is kind of a cop-out. And he's a good fighter. He was ranked #2 or #3 in the world. So he's a good opponent, but I think as far as, I don't think ever in the history of any combat sport a guy quitting on his stool has been marketed as an injury. You didn't come out for the 3rd round, you quit. I feel like he quit once, he'll quit again. But I'm ready for whatever he wants to do on Friday night.
Well, it should be exciting.
Oh, it'll definitely be exciting.
I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
How do you predict things going on Friday?
I think really similar to the last fight. I took the last fight on when we fought the first time. It was at high altitude and on short notice, and I still outpointed him and set a really good pace. This time I've been training really hard for the fight. I think I've improved a lot stylistically, and I see the fight going the same way. Either I stop him or he quits again. You
talked a little bit about visualization, and you've spoken openly about how mental game and fighting is just as important.
Yep.
So what are kind of some of the things that you go through to enhance your mental game or prepare yourself for the fight?
I just look back, and I try to learn from my mistakes. I don't have a perfect record. When I lose a fight, I try to figure out why, and I try to change it. And most of the time, not just me, a lot of people, you see them after the fight like, oh, it just wasn't my night, I didn't perform well tonight. I'm gonna get back in the gym and fix it. And it's like, I don't think getting back in the gym is gonna fix it. If you don't perform, it's you underestimated the guy, or you thought wrong, or you didn't, it's a mental thing. And I think so much of this game is mental that if you're not trying to work on that, if you're not trying to take that to the next level, then you're in a weakness. So I do, on-it supplements, Alpha Brain, trying to get, mentally sharper and memory and focus. And I hired a mind coach, Vinny Stroman. I get hypnotized before fights,
Really?
Yeah. I think that, we're born with we're born with like reflexes and stuff. You know, if I go to your face, you're gonna blink. That's what's natural, right? If you, you know, if you could walk across a 2x4 on the floor, it'd be no problem. It'd be easy. But if I put that 2x4 up on a ladder, it's still a 2x4, but you're gonna get nervous. It's gonna be hard for you to do it. And those are all instinctual things that our bodies, you know, gives us to protect ourselves. And a lot of those things stop you from performing correctly. So, you know, I do a lot of exercises and things to try to fix or remove those, or give myself more control over that, which allows me to, hopefully allows me to perform better. And I think that's why I've been so successful at such a high level with the number of fights that I have versus the number of fights that my opponents have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hear that from athletes across the board, that visualization is very, very key in their training. And I think I heard you say that you visualize 15 minutes after your fight.
Yep. That's a secret. I don't know if I can give that one away. That's a big part of it.
Uh-oh.
But I'll give it away. Because you probably won't be able to get it. Because you don't have my mind coach, Whitney Shorman, to explain it to you.
That's right. That's the key.
But so, yeah, one thing that one exercise I do is throughout my training camp, I'll visualize 15 minutes after I've won. You know, and I'll do it every day when I'm alone. Not so much when I'm driving, because it's kind of dangerous to visualize when you're driving. You gotta watch the road. But
I can understand
when
that.
I'm, at home, on the toilet, and wherever I'm at, laying in bed, try to visualize 15 minutes after I've won the fight, and I try to make it as real and as high definition as possible. What does it smell like? Who's in the room? What do I feel like? Is there sweat dripping off me? What's going on? And the more you do that, the realer it becomes, and the realer it becomes in your mind. You know, it's hard to be nervous about something that you've already seen happen. Mm-hmm. It's already happened, and it becomes so real by the time it's there. It's already happened. It's the world hasn't seen it. And I did that a lot for GLORY 10, and I visualized both my kids being in the ring when I was holding up the check for $150,000 with a belt around my waist. And if you go back on that fight, I was in the ring looking at my kids, looking at the check with $150,000 and a belt around my waist. So it's a very powerful thing, and I think it's a big part of the game that a lot of people are missing out on.
I think so as well. I mean, you've been there, you've done it so many times in your mind, it's only bound to happen.
Mm-hmm. And it's another thing that gets rid of all that nervousness and anxiety. It's like I already won GLORY 10. It would make no sense for me to be nervous now about GLORY 10 because it's already happened, right?
Right.
Well, I'm basically tricking my mind into thinking that,
Well, that basically wraps it up for this portion, but you guys can check out Joe this Friday, May 13th, GLORY Kickboxing against Jason Wilnis.